So, are you destroying your Rahu, improving your Rahu, or is your Rahu on autopilot? Doesn't matter. Because if you saw my last video of how people destroy the sun in Rahu, okay, so I want to focus on Rahu because Rahu is the highest of intelligence. It is the scientific intelligence. You cannot be a scientist without Rahu. Okay, because scientist has to do critical thinking. Rahu is critical thinking. Because Rahu, if Rahu did not have a critical thinking, Rahu would not see through the deception of Samudra Manthan story. Rahu would not see the fact that there's some deception is happening here by distracting us with entertainment of this lady dancing, while the big guns out there, the big gods out there, they're enjoying their soma. They're becoming more and more like gods. That's critical thinking. So there are 3 stages of Rahu. One's on autopilot. No matter what happens in the world, they live their life, and there are always going to be people who are going to live on autopilot. Then there's a Rahu, okay, who will be at 50% capacity. Then there's one at 80 to 100% capacity. What do I mean by this? See, Rahu, we see like, oh, well, it's smoke and mirrors, and it's, deception, and it's cheating, and Rahu is criminal, and Rahu is that. Well, the thing is, Rahu is simply futuristic. This is why scientists are created under Rahu. Rahu is like Da Vinci. Rahu is like Michelangelo. Somebody in probably 16th century was like, how come, we don't have something like electricity? How come we don't have some way of capturing this beautiful moment? I see everybody laughing. What if I could just capture exactly this thing without spending 6 hours drawing people? Somebody was thinking of that. Just like somebody might be thinking right now, about going to a completely different dimension. It's science fiction, and it's not. Depend upon how your Rahu thinking is. So, for example, when you see your favorite athlete, musician, actor doing their thing, as I said before, where they have the wardrobe, makeup artist, editing, the best dance coordinator, they have millions of dollars of budget. Top of that, millions of dollars of budget for marketing, merchandising. Okay. They are presented as this false sun. Because imagine if you were born, but the only time you can go outside and open your eyes is when there's this eclipse in the sky. And you did this for 30 years. So whether 2 or 3 times a year you opened up your eyes and you looked up, oh wow, and they said it's the sun. So if I asked you what is the sun, you're going to tell me, well, sun is this black thing in the middle, and then there's this ring of light around it. That becomes that autopilot Rahu. Whatever is told, one is just doing. And they're happy with it. So that's the perception that we have. That's actually the training we have all gotten. For example, such a person, if you can see if they're like weakening their Rahu or strengthening their Rahu, you will see, like your grandparents or your uncles and parents, that even they watch something on TV and they start discussing it. Oh my God, did you see what just happened? I cannot believe this. Oh, this is horrible. This is bad. That's autopilot. The one at 50% capacity of Rahu will be like, I'm watching this. Let's turn to another channel, or let's go to this source. What is this source saying? They look at 5 to 10 different sources. Oh yeah, everybody's saying the same thing. Oh yeah, And they start discussing, yes, can you see what just happened? So there's a little bit of that, ability to see through deception. Then somebody at Rahu with the 80 to 100% capacity will be like watching this. Oh, okay. Then they'll watch this. Then they'll watch this. Then they'll watch that. They're like, wait a second. Everybody's saying the same thing. And not only everybody's saying the same thing, they're saying it verbatim. There's something here. What's going on? What is the truth behind what I'm just seeing everywhere? Is there something else happening in the background? Well, I'm only seeing what is on the surface and what is being told to me. That is Rahu at that 80 to 100% capacity. For example, everybody, including somebody who's born in my Generation X, what are they doing? They send, okay, get up, go to school, and they have to because they have to go to work. Okay, but the thing is, most may not sit down and say, wait a second, everything has changed. Cars have improved. We were in a horse cart, we were riding horses, and now we're like riding fast cars. We're going on a plane. We don't need to take a bucket into the jungle to go to the bathroom. We have it in home. The whole plumbing system has changed. How food is made, that has all changed. How fire is created, that has all changed. What one thing hasn't changed is how people are taught. A bunch of kids in the classroom have to go buy a designed book and learn from that designed book, whether it's history, whether it's mathematics and science and all of those things. How come what would be the 2023 or 2045 version of learning and graduating and knowing that this person has the capacity to do something? You see, so unless you say we are programmed that if somebody didn't graduate from college or graduate from middle school, high school, or they don't have any intelligence. And the corporations are already in that mode. We're not going to hire, although now it's changing. Variously, even Elon Musk says, I don't hire anybody who has a master's or even PhD. That pure intelligence has to be there, so something is changing. But see, when a person can see through these things, the Rahu is at its highest intelligence, it becomes, and what happens is, this is a gift and a curse. Because once you see through one deception, because that Samudra Manthan story from back then is still playing out. We're all like asuras, and there's only a few gods. So, even now, this theme is playing out. But the thing is, once you see that one deception, I'm sorry to say, once you're awakened to that, now you get awakened to a 50 to 100 different deception that is happening at every corner. And once this happens, you will see from this herd or group of bees that are cramped together in that society you call your metropolitan areas, downtown areas, the few Rahus fly out. They're like, I don't need to be in this matrix system. I can still be an engineer, I can still be a software programmer, but you know what? Because this group has created something called online internet, this and that, you know what? I can still do this and better and make more money if I'm just outside the system and doing something, innovating something. And so that's the thing. It's only a few who will have that full capacity. And the thing is, the 50% even, or the autopilot one, the thing is, there's so much comfort. That's the problem. There's so much comfort being on that autopilot to get what you want that you don't see the bigger picture. You don't see the real fortune that is there waiting once a person is fully awakened at that Rahu's intelligence and that Rahu's capacity. And there's also this other deception where somebody who may say right now, I am at that 80 to 90, 100% capacity. Yes, I'm away from everybody else. But no, it's a very thin line between being that, and it's only a few who will truly be. Okay. And those few who are truly be, you will see that what is one way to see if those few are those actual Sambharus and Rahus. They will be ridiculed by those autopilot Rahus, laughed at by the autopilot Rahus. Oh, these people are not intelligent. Oh, this is people with a tinfoil hat. And remember, just because you know mathematics and science and programming, all of that, this is not intelligent. This is skill of Mercury. If let's say I was to not work and do no astrology, don't pay attention to my family, if I just gave myself even 6 months to a year, learning from ground zero, I can probably become a brilliant programmer. I can learn Python, I can learn Ruby. I've actually taken C++. Right after high school, I think it was in our high school, we were learning C, okay? And there was this other basic language that we were learning. And I got it, but I just wasn't interested in it. It's not that hard. So these things, whether you're working in a pharmaceutical, whether you're some executive in MBA, whether you're in computer programming, designing video games and apps, these are skills. These are intelligence of skills. What I'm talking about is that intelligence and wisdom of Jupiter and Sun. This is why you will see people with Sun and Rahu conjunction, Rahu and Jupiter conjunction, okay, will be those Swayambharus, completely unorthodox, completely against the grain, going against the grain. And this is why Nadi astrology, this is why I love Nadi. Because they really go into the logic of things. Instead of why this yoga exists. Why is it this yoga means this? So Nadi explains it. This is why I got into Nandi Nadi like literally a year and a half ago, and boom, I told you, I just got it like a lotus flower opening up. But in there it says, like with Jupiter and Rahu, a person has the wisdom and intelligence to go to the highest point in their profession. Sun Rahu actually cuts through the eclipse and shows, look, see, so when Sun Rahu are there, certain individuals can show that, look, this is not an eclipse. Let me remove this eclipse. Here I am. I'm the sun. And then you're like, whoa, this is the sun. So as much as they say, well, this is Guru Chandal Yoga. This person is bad. This person is this person will do that. Well, if you see most of the people in scientific research-based, field will have these combinations. And this is why Rahu, if when you hear the word critical thinking, be a critical thinker, it's Rahu. It's not even Jupiter, it's not even Sun, it's not Mercury, anything. It is simply Rahu. Rahu is critical thinking. Wherever Rahu is placed in your chart, you will do critical thinking related to that particular house. And if a planet is conjunct Rahu, you will do critical thinking related to the significance of that planet. And wherever that planet's Mool Trikon sign is, you will look through that particular area. Actually, both the signs of that planet. If the planet is not Sun and Moon, they'll have two signs. You'll see critically through that. In your chart, this is the simplest technique I can give you. So you can see if you're an autopilot, if you're 50% capacity, or just you're out of the system. Because like I said in the past video as well, like the one on autopilot will see their favorite stars, will see their musicians, will see their athlete, and they'll stand in line 9 hours. Those people who do camping out. Oh my God, this concert is coming, and they're camping out 24 hours before, and they're just enjoying everything, and they're like just rushing in, and oh my God, I'm gonna get to see my God. That's autopilot Rahu. That's a very that's a dangerous Rahu, because that becomes That means you're like far away from seeing the sun. For you, you'll be just happy as many eclipses you can see. That's the sun for you. Okay, so and this is how, again, this is about how easily Rahu then becomes weakened. See, Rahu is not about money, wealth, fame. These are all combination. You want to know the truth, you actually go towards Rahu. Why? Because only through that critical thinking you can see through the deception of the system. Because that's what Rahu did. He was the one with the tinfoil hat and saw through the deception of the whole thing. How a small group of people, enjoy everything that this planet has to offer and maybe even more by keeping the rest, indulged in this hypnotic entertainment. That is Rahu. This is what Rahu is. Okay. So anyway, guys, if you're new to my channel, subscribe below so you don't miss these type of videos. And if you want to know anything about your chart, my books, reports, consultations, check out the link here, karasastrology.com at the link below, or even my academy, Magha Vedic Astrology Academy, where you'll see about Nandi Nadi and every other course that I have there. Anyway, we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.